Hi everyone, this is Ronnie from UK Fruit Fest and from YouTube. And today we're going to talk about what are we going to talk about? Education in the raw food movement, raw food, raw vegan education, stuff like that. And this channel is mostly about raw vegan stuff, so if you want to follow it, my journey on this path and fruitarianism, it's basically fruitarian raw vegan style diet. And if you want to follow that, you can subscribe to the channel and learn more. What what I mean by education, why am I talking about this? Well, there was a study apparently done about the people that last longest on a raw food diet, and it tends to be the people that have had the most education about the subject and about diet and nutrition in general. And this really makes a lot of sense. To me, it makes a lot of sense. And I was having a conversation, I did an interview with Sean, a friend of mine, and Sean was saying that when he came along to the festival, he preferred to be a volunteer and kind of meet the other people in the community. And I was saying how when someone's coming to a festival for the first time, I generally recommend that they don't come as a volunteer, but they come as an attendee. And the reason for that is that you then have the time to be able to take in the education, which is, to me, is the most important part of the whole thing, really. And I understand that what people enjoy about it is the fun and the friendships and the community and the food and the activities and the fun and all that. But if you don't get that education, if you don't fully understand this, if you don't really take it all in and really appreciate how to do this diet and lifestyle and all that kind of stuff, then you're gonna go home and you're gonna fall off the diet. It's it's completely inevitable, and you're gonna struggle with it long term. And I'm talking about 100% raw diet. I'm not saying that you won't be able to do a vegan diet or a veggie diet or something, but 100% raw diet. And I'm just reflecting on my own journey, So for other people it's different, and they come to the event for different things. Some people just There's a lot of people that think they know it all, right? So there's people that have been into this for a long time, but they've still not really got the diet right. They're still trying to do it, and they're still struggling with it. I, from what I've seen, when I think about various people and various festivals I've been at and different things, my approach to it was always that I was coming to get that education, and I wanted to learn to meet some of the people that I'd been watching online and see what they were doing and ask them questions. So I wanted to do all that, but I wanted to go to the lectures and learn, and then I would go to another festival, and I would go to the lectures again, and then I would go to another event. Sometimes I would see the same lecture 2 or 3 times, and I would just try and I would get something new from it every time. But I would be conscious I'm trying to take in this information. And there's a lot of people that are very skeptical about the speakers and the information, and they maybe don't like someone teaching them or whatever it is. And there's a lot of people that are kind of, yeah, I know it all. I've seen this all on YouTube, or I've read this all, and for me, a lot of those people are the people that never really do this, that never really get it right, because they don't really have respect for the fact that this is not something that you just do overnight correctly. This is something that takes some education and a bit of discipline, a lot of inspiration and motivation to do it. But you really need to learn and understand this stuff, and really understand it, and really, because it worries me when vegans and things come to me and they might say something about, well, what about this carnivore diet? Like, seem to be getting a good result, and what about some people are going back to cooked food and they're getting a better result, and some people are. And for me, this is partly a little bit of inexperience in this whole lifestyle, but it's lack of education, right? To me, it's lack of just sitting and listening to the information and really taking it in and really understanding it and appreciating it. There isn't anything, there is nothing that supports the idea of eating meat as being a healthy diet. There's just nothing out there. The people that sell meat, that have the meat industries and all that, they have scientific, they're paying for scientists to try desperately to find something good to say about meat. They cannot find it. They can't find it, and all that keeps coming out is more negative information about eating meat. And they try and do things. There was a video from Dr. Michael Greger, Nutrition Facts, where they were trying to like add blueberries into meat to see if it would stop some of the negative impacts of eating meat, and it didn't really work. There's nothing in meat that is going to be healthy. Long term, people on the carnivore diet, the first thing that's going to happen to them is they're going to damage their kidneys. That's the first thing. That'll happen within about a year. You might say, well, there's people that have been doing this for a while. Yeah, they've been doing it for a while, and their kidneys are getting damaged. And that is the first thing that we have. This is like research that we have on low carb diets, on meat-based low carb diets. I'm not making this stuff up. This is research that's been done on. There's not much research being done on those diets because we know that they're not healthy. Why would we study them? Why would we put people? It's unethical to put people on a diet that's going to ruin their health. And yet the carnivore people are, they give up dairy and they get a good result, and they think that it's because they're eating meat or whatever it is. And you guys just aren't far enough down the path, Like, I understand you're getting a good result short term, but your kidneys are going to get damaged. That's why one of the main reasons you shouldn't do it. You think that protein's a good thing. Too much protein is damaging to the kidneys. But the thing is, most people never really follow the low carb diet. And I was telling my friend, the first thing, whenever anyone comes to me and says, this diet isn't working for me, that diet isn't working for me, this diet's better, I don't trust what anyone says about their diet, quite frankly. I don't trust anyone when it comes to their diet. So, and this is something that I've very severely learned through just experience. I don't trust anything anyone says about their diet, and I especially don't trust anyone when it comes to them saying that they've been doing a raw diet, because it's not an easy diet to do. So some random unknown person online is telling me they're doing a raw diet, when I know people that have been to multiple events and met the speakers and the teachers and have been raw for long periods of time and fallen off it, and they read all the books and all that, and they can't quite get it right, and they've been trying it for a long time. I don't think the anonymous person on a forum, like, I'm not expecting them to have got it right just out of the blue, unless they've had a mentor or a teacher or someone with them that's helping them do it. There's so many mistakes and pitfalls to make. So many mistakes and pitfalls keep coming up, and it's like, when I'm speaking to people, I'm trying to give them the benefit of my experience, and they're shutting it off a lot of the time. They just shut it off because they've heard something else from someone else or whatever. And I've heard all that stuff too, but I know why it's not real or not right, or that person's not telling you honestly what they're eating. So, and I've had multiple experiences of people talking about, this raw diet isn't working for me. Literally, I see them the next day in a restaurant eating cooked food. This diet isn't working for me. I see them eating fast food. This diet isn't working for me. They're eating fish or something else. I'm doing this diet 100%. I'm doing this diet 100%. Apart from a little bit of steamed vegetables. Anything else? Well, maybe some coffee. Anything else? Maybe some alcohol. Anything else? A little bit of fish sometimes. Anything else? Some cheese in my salad sometimes. Anything else? That's their interpretation of a raw diet. It's not that they're being dishonest. It's that for them, in their perspective, they're just eating fruit all day long. Like, so in their perspective, like, I'm eating fruit all day. I'm basically just eating fruit. It's not working for me. They're not taking into account the fact that it won't work if you're having the cooked food at night, the cheese and the salad, the caffeine, the alcohol, the fish, the this, the that, the processed food, the sugars, the energy drinks, whatever it is. All these other things that people add in and don't say on the forums for some reason. And so the first thing with anyone that comes to you with these kind of ideas or questions is, what are you honestly eating? Like, what are you really eating? You know, what are you actually eating? And that's the experience from being at the festivals as well. But what I've found is, if you look at the people that have been long term raw, they tend to have been at events. They tend to have had a mentor or a coach that's helped them with it. And the one that's been the most successful a lot of people is Doug Graham, by absolute far. Like, I know a lot of people out there love different people, Robert Morse and Life Regenerator. Very few people have followed these people and went 100% raw long term. Like, very, very few people. Because with Robert Morse, he doesn't really do raw long term. I don't think he ever has. So he doesn't really know how to teach people how to do it, which is fair enough. That's not what he's trying to do. But his students don't really know how to do it. So they have to learn from the people that have done 80-10-10, which goes back to Doug Graham. And a lot of people don't like Doug Graham because he's not doesn't present himself as a spiritual person. For some reason, a lot of people in this community want to be following a spiritual person. He doesn't talk about conspiracy theories. A lot of people get hyped up about conspiracy theories. He doesn't really talk about all that. He does a little bit, but not that much. And he tells people the stuff that they don't really want to know, but they really have to know. Like, it's not as simple as just listening to your body. Like, people don't really want to hear that they need to be eating 20 bananas a day and another bunch of a few mangoes and some orange juice and a big salad and an avocado and a handful of nuts and seeds. Like, people don't want to hear that they have to eat that much. But it's really the only way of doing it. It's the only way that it works. No one's lasting in this lifestyle eating one papaya for breakfast, 2 mangoes for lunch, and tomatoes and cucumbers for dinner. No one's doing that long term. Everyone says they're doing that on the forum. Everyone says they're doing that on forums. This diet isn't working for me. I eat 1 papaya for breakfast, 2 melons for lunch, an apple for a snack, and cucumbers and tomatoes for dinner. And I've been doing something like that for the last 3 months and it's not working for me. And I've heard that so many times that it's frustrating to me that everyone dives in as if they can't just obviously see that's not what the person's doing. And when they say it's not working for them, they usually mean, I'm putting on weight. I'm putting on weight eating all this fruit. No, you're not. You're eating something else. So, I don't know why I'm adding that in. I'll make a big separate video about that. But you have to absorb yourself in this education. You have to absorb yourself in this knowledge. You have to keep on learning about it. If you still have this inkling in your mind, like, well, that's maybe meat's healthy actually, and maybe a little bit of cheese now and again it's okay, and cooked food's not too bad, and we should be eating insects as well, and maybe some larvae, and we should. If you're thinking like that, and cooking food isn't that bad for you, and it's just you've not got the education. Like and I don't know. It's just like I've seen it. I've seen all the people that went back to doing cooked food. Like, they weren't really serious about this, and they weren't sitting in the lectures, and they weren't listening to the information. They were going to festivals and hanging out and meeting people and running after girls or boys or whatever. And that's a fun thing to do as well. But you can't then say that the lifestyle doesn't work if you don't know how to do it and you never learned and you never got that solid information. And when I'm sitting at the festival speaking to Robert Lockhart, who's in his 70s, and I'm trying to work out, right, how do you do this long term, and I'm speaking to him, and they're speaking to some 90-year-old girl because they want to try and hook up. Like, who's going to learn how to do? Not to say that I wouldn't want to speak to girls as well, but my purpose for going to these events was really, I want to learn this stuff. I want to get this right. I want to go 100% raw. That was my goal. So the way to do it is, there's lots of stuff to do, but you have to get that education, that information. You have to bang it into your head. And it's not just YouTube. It's not quite enough. The books are good as well, some of the information, but a first place to start is to feel confident that a vegan diet is healthy. If you're not there yet, then, and if you're still thinking you need to take supplements, and you need to take every supplement under the sun, and if you think that a fruitarian diet doesn't have enough protein, and if you think you can't get iron on a fruitarian diet, and if you think all these kind of things, you're nowhere near ready yet to do this. You're not going to do it. If you still have those questions, you just don't understand this enough, I think. So get that education. Listen to the lectures. If you're going to a festival for the first time, I do think you shouldn't go and volunteer and just hang out in the kitchen and go no. If your goal is just to go to a fun event and meet people and eat some fruit and stuff, then yeah, do that. But if your goal is to do this to the best of your ability, go 100% raw, you should go and be an attendee and listen to all the talks. That's the perspective. But some of you are like, I know how to do this, I don't need to listen to you, I don't need to learn, I don't need to read a book, I don't need to watch a lecture, or what do they know? I can just listen to my body knows what it wants. And you were eating junk food all your life and you think your body knows what it wants, or body knows what it's going to do intuitively. It doesn't make sense, okay? I don't know why I'm getting a bit riled up about this one. But anyhow, so what am I going to say? So if you want to learn more about this, come to UK Fruit Fest. We're going to launch next week. I'll put more information out about that. Fruitfest.co.uk, you can get a free book. If you want to learn more about coaching with me, which would be a really good idea if you're struggling with this, then there's a link below for my coaching. So thanks a lot for watching the video. Get your education wherever you can. I recommend Doug Graham's stuff, all of his stuff, and I do recommend other people, but a lot of the people I recommend learned from him, and some people didn't, and some people have an alternative approach a little bit, but I think still by far he has the best approach. Everyone wants their own little niche, so they said something different than him. Fair enough, but I really think he's the most reliable source. So thank you very much for watching. See you in another video, and that's me out. Thank you.